whispers of the sea, echoes of forgotten tides. The morning sun cast a golden shimmer on the tranquil sea as Thomas, a seasoned fisherman, set out on his modest boat. The routine was comforting, the rhythm of the waves and the cry of the gulls a familiar melody. His life was simple, marked by the predictable pattern of tides and the bountiful catch that provided for his family. But on this day, the sea had different plans. As Thomas cast his net into the depths, he felt a strange resistance. It was as if something heavy and unnatural had snagged on the lines. With a furrowed brow, he hauled the net back in, his muscles straining against the unusual weight. Amidst the thrashing fish, a glint of metal caught his eye. There, tangled in the net, was an ancient, ornate amulet, encrusted with barnacles and seaweed. Intrigued, Thomas pried the artifact free. It was a beautiful piece, despite its age and the layers of grime. An intricate pattern of waves and mythical sea creatures adorned its surface, centered around a large, glistening gem. As he held it, he felt a chill run down his spine, but he dismissed it as a trick of the cold morning air. He continued with his work, but the amulet seemed to pulse with an eerie energy in his pocket. By the time he returned home, the sky had turned a foreboding grey, and an unsettling stillness hung over the village. That night, as Thomas lay in bed, he began to hear whispers, soft, insistent murmurs that seemed to rise from the very floorboards of his house. At first, he thought it was the wind, but as the whispers grew louder, he realized they were speaking to him in an ancient, guttural language. The days that followed were plagued with unsettling visions. Thomas saw drowned sailors reaching out to him from the waves, their eyes void of life, their mouths twisted in silent screams. At times, he felt cold, clammy hands brush against his skin, sending him into fits of terror. The whispers became a constant companion, their tone both pleading and accusing, filling his mind with a growing sense of dread. His family noticed the change. His once jovial demeanor had turned sullen, and dark circles formed under his eyes from countless sleepless nights. He tried to confide in them, but the words felt hollow and unbelievable. Who would believe that an amulet had cursed him? The hallucinations grew more vivid and terrifying. One evening, as he was mending his nets by the fireplace, he glanced up to see a figure standing at the edge of the room. It was a woman, her dress flowing as if suspended in water, her hair a dark, tangled mass. Her eyes were wide and vacant, staring straight through him. He blinked, and she was gone, but the lingering cold in the room told him it had been more than a mere figment of his imagination. Desperation drove Thomas back to the sea. He had to rid himself of the amulet, to silence the voices and banish the spectres that haunted him. As he sailed to the deepest part of the bay, the sea roiled and churned, as if aware of his intentions. The whispers grew louder, almost deafening, urging him to return the amulet to its watery grave. With trembling hands, Thomas raised the amulet above his head and hurled it into the depths. The sea swallowed it greedily, and for a moment there was an eerie silence. Then the waves calmed, and the whispers ceased. The oppressive weight lifted from his chest, and he felt a sense of peace he hadn't known since that fateful morning. The transformation was immediate. The hallucinations vanished, and the spectres dissolved like mist in the sunlight. Thomas returned to his village, and the familiar rhythm of his life resumed. The sea once more became a source of sustenance and solace, its mysteries respected and left undisturbed. Thomas never spoke of the amulet again, and with time the terrifying ordeal faded into a distant memory, a dark chapter best forgotten. Yet on stormy nights, when the wind howled through the village, he would sometimes find himself staring out at the turbulent sea, a silent acknowledgement of the ancient, powerful forces that lurked beneath its surface, ever watchful and waiting. Years passed, and Thomas grew older, his hair turning white like the crest of a wave. The village thrived, and tales of his encounter with the cursed amulet turned into whispered legends shared by the fireside. Some said the amulet was a gift from the sea gods, meant to be a blessing but turned into a curse by human greed. Others believed it was a remnant of an ancient civilization, lost to the depths, seeking vengeance on those who disturbed its rest. Despite the passage of time, Thomas never forgot the day the sea revealed its dark secret. He became a more cautious man, respectful of the ocean's power and mysteries. He taught his children and grandchildren to fish with care, to take only what they needed, and to always return any strange finds to the depths. One evening, as the sun set in a blaze of orange and purple, Thomas took his youngest grandson out on the boat. The boy was eager, his eyes wide with the wonder of the open sea. They fished and talked, and Thomas shared stories of his youth, leaving out the darker chapters. As they prepared to return home, the boy pointed to something shiny in the water. "Grandfather, look!" Thomas's heart skipped a beat as he saw another glint of metal. But this time he didn't hesitate. With a steady hand he guided his grandson's curious fingers away. "Some things are best left where they belong," he said gently, steering the boat back to shore. And as they sailed away, the whispers of the sea faded into the distance, replaced by the comforting sounds of the waves and the cries of the gulls, a reminder of the delicate balance between man and the vast, mysterious ocean.
Like and subscribe for more supernatural stories.